I stood under the streetlight, rain soaking my hair, my phone shaking in my hand. I dialed Ethan again. "Pick up?" I whispered. "Please, just pick up." The call went dead. Again. I laughed softly. "Of course," I said to myself. "You're busy." A car slowed in front of me. The headlights cut through the rain. I felt relief before I saw the passenger door open. Ethan stepped out. I ran toward him. "Ethan, where have you been? I've been calling you for hours." He didn't answer. He didn't even look at me. Then she stepped out too. Luna. She moved close to him, her fingers sliding around his arm. "You didn't tell her?" she asked, smiling. My chest tightened. "Tell me what?" I asked. "Why are you with her?" Ethan sighed like I was exhausting him. "Ivy, don't make this harder." "Harder than what?" I said. "You disappearing?" "I didn't disappear," he said calmly. "I moved on." The rain felt colder. "Moved on from what?" "From us," he said. "From you." I stared at him. "You promise." "People change," he interrupted. "You stayed the same." Luna leaned closer. "He needs someone who understands his future," she said. "Not someone stuck in the past." I laughed, shaky and broken. "You were my best friend." She tilted her head. "And now I'm honest." I turned back to him. "Say this is a joke," I begged. "Say you're angry, or tired, or scared." He shook his head. "You're not enough anymore." The words cut deeper than the rain. "After everything I gave you?" "I didn't ask you to give it," he said. I felt my knees weaken. "How long?" He didn't answer. Luna did. "Long enough." My heart dropped. "So, every late night, every excuse." "Yes," she said. "It was real." I looked at Ethan. "You planned this." He finally met my eyes. "I didn't want to hurt you." I laughed again, louder. "You succeeded." Silence stretched between us. "I waited for you," I said. "Every night." He looked away. "You shouldn't have." That was it. No apology. No regret. Luna squeezed his arm. "We should go." He nodded. I reached for him. "Ethan, don't leave me like this." He stepped back. "Goodbye, Ivy." They walked away together. I stood there, rain washing over my face, tears mixing until I couldn't tell them apart. Something inside me broke. I whispered, "Was I ever real to you?" He stopped but didn't turn around. "You were convenient," he said. Those words burned. "I trusted you with my life." "And I carried you long enough," he replied. They disappeared into the night. I wrapped my arms around myself and said, "You're still here." That night didn't end my life. It ended my weakness. My phone buzzed once more. I looked at the screen. His name. I didn't answer. "Breathe," I told myself. "Just breathe." The rain kept falling. I lifted my face and whispered, "This hurts, but I'm alive." No one answered. The street was empty. I took one step forward, then another. "I won't follow you," I said out loud. My voice shook, but it didn't disappear. I walked away slowly, leaving the broken girl behind in the rain. That was the moment I unknowingly crossed the line between love and irreversible loss forever. I locked my door and slid down to the floor. My phone lay in my palm, cold and quiet. I stared at the screen and whispered, "So this is it." I waited anyway. Minutes passed. Then more. I checked again. Nothing. "Say something," I muttered. "Anything at all." The silence felt heavier than the rain from last night. A knock sounded. Grace's voice followed. "Ivy, open the door." "I'm fine," I said, even though my throat burned. She sighed. "You haven't eaten." "I'm not hungry." She sat outside my door. Did he explain? I pressed my head against the wood. He said I wasn't enough. Grace inhaled sharply. "That isn't true." I laughed, hollow. Then why did he leave so easily? She didn't answer. That quiet hurt worse than yelling. Later, I heard Daniel come home. His steps stopped. "Where is he?" he asked. Grace replied softly, "Gone." Something slammed. He did this to her? I opened the door. Daniel looked at my face and froze. He doesn't deserve you. Please don't fight him, I said.
His jaw tightened.
He planned it, didn't he? With Luna, I said. His fist hit the wall. She smiled at you every day. I told her everything, I said. My fears, my secrets. Grace whispered. People reveal themselves slowly.
Daniel looked at me.
Did he even say sorry? No, I said. He said goodbye. Daniel swallowed. That's cruel. Night wrapped around my room. I lay on my bed, staring up. Ethan's voice replayed. You're not enough. Convenient. I repeated the words until they felt empty. Was any of it real? I asked the dark. Nothing answered. I remembered Luna borrowing my jacket. Luna knowing my schedule. Luna standing too close. I had laughed it off. You wanted to believe, I told myself. My phone buzzed once. I grabbed it. A notification. Not him. I dropped it. Coward. I whispered. Tears slid down my face. If I mattered, I said, you would have explained. The room stayed quiet. I curled onto my side. Was I loved? I asked softly. Or was I just convenient? Silence answered. I closed my eyes. I see it now. Nothing replied. That was when I understood. Betrayal doesn't scream. It waits. It lets silence do the damage. I stayed awake until morning, counting my breaths. This hurts, I told myself, but I'm still here. No one argued. That scared me more than the pain. I whispered one last question into the dark room. If I mattered at all, why didn't you fight for me? Silence stayed loyal. I woke up to a sharp smell and a dull beep. My throat felt dry. Where am I? I whispered. You're awake, a calm voice said. That's good. I turned my head. Who are you? I'm Dr. Helen Moore, she said. You collapsed from exhaustion and not eating. I didn't mean to, I said. I just forgot. She pulled a chair closer. Your body didn't forget. It fought. I frowned. Fought for what? For you, she said gently. Your heart refused to stop. I laughed weakly. That sounds dramatic. She met my eyes. It's true. Silence filled the room. I stared at the ceiling. I didn't feel strong. You don't have to, she replied. Survival isn't loud. Grace rushed in. Ivy, she cried. You scared me. I'm sorry, I said. I didn't plan this. She held my hand. You don't have to do everything alone. I closed my eyes. I don't know how to do this. Dr. Moore stood. Rest, she said. Decisions can wait. But my phone buzzed. I looked at the screen. Ethan. Grace stiffened. Do you want me to? No, I said. I'll read it. The message was short. I hope you're okay. I'm moving forward. That was it. I stared at the words. That's all, I whispered. Grace asked softly. What did he say? He's fine, I replied. That's what he said. Dr. Moore watched my face. How do you feel? I waited for tears. They didn't come. Empty, I said. And angry. That's honest, she said. I turned toward the small mirror near the bed. The girl looking back at me had pale skin and tired eyes. I don't know her, I said. Grace squeezed my hand. You're still you. No, I said quietly. I stayed too long. I begged too much. Dr. Moore nodded. Pain can teach if you let it. I read the message again. No apology. No regret. Just pride. Something hardened inside me. I won't answer, I said. Grace looked surprised. Are you sure? Yes, I replied. I'm done chasing. My phone went dark. I took a slow breath. If this pain didn't kill me, I said, then it failed. Dr. Moore smiled faintly. That's one way to see it. I sat up carefully. I won't disappear for him. Grace's eyes filled with tears. I'm proud of you. I nodded. I won't beg. I won't wait. The room felt lighter. I don't know what comes next, I said, but I choose to live. Dr. Moore stood. That choice matters. I lay back, calmer now. I survived, I whispered. So I'll rebuild. No one argued. For the first time, the future didn't scare me more than the past. I stood in my manager's office with my hands folded.
I'm resigning, I said.
He blinked. Is this because of Ethan? Yes, I answered honestly. And because of me.
He sighed.
You were recommended by him. I know, I said. That's why I'm leaving. I walked out before he could say more. My legs felt weak, but my back stayed straight. Clara waited near the stairs.
You really did it, she said.
I had to, I replied. She hugged me tightly. I always knew you deserved more than being someone's shadow. Her words made my chest ache. Why didn't you tell me before? She smiled sadly. You wouldn't have listened. At home, I stared at myself in the mirror. Just hair, I whispered. It will grow back. The scissors shook in my hand. Do it, I told myself. I cut. Strands fell to the sink. My heart raced. When I finished, the girl staring back looked lighter. Scared but lighter. Grace touched my shoulder. You look different. I feel different, I said. I opened old boxes that night. Photos.
Notes. Gifts.
These don't own me, I said aloud. I threw them away one by one. You don't get to live here anymore. My phone stayed quiet. I didn't check it. Clara called. There's a training program opening, she said. You should apply. I'm not qualified, I replied. She laughed. That's what fear says. I stared at the application. What if I fail? What if you don't? She asked. I submitted it before I could change my mind. That night I cried. Not loudly. Not desperately. Just quietly. I miss who I thought you were, I whispered. But I don't miss waiting. I didn't ask him to come back. Days passed. I woke early. I walked more. I breathed deeper. Daniel watched me. You're changing, he said. I'm trying, I replied. Grace asked, does it still hurt? Yes, I said, but it hurts differently. The acceptance email arrived. My hands shook. I got in, I said. Clara screamed through the phone.
See?
You were always capable. I sat on my bed and smiled. I stopped waiting for permission. That night, I looked at the ceiling. Who do I want to become? I asked myself. The question scared me, but it also felt like freedom. I whispered, someone who doesn't beg. I slept without dreams of him. In the morning, I tied my shoes and said, I choose myself today. No one stopped me. No one needed to. Letting go still hurt. But holding on had almost destroyed me. And this time, I chose differently. I sat in the back of the classroom, staring at my notebook without writing. The room was quiet except for pages turning. A chair scraped beside me. Is this seat taken? A man asked. No, I said quickly. He sat down and nodded. I'm Marcus. Ivy, I replied. He didn't ask anything else. That surprised me. The instructor started speaking. I tried to focus, but my thoughts drifted. Marcus wrote calmly, never rushing. When class ended, I packed my bag fast. You look like you're running away, he said gently. I just don't like crowds, I replied. Fair, he said. I don't like noise. We walked out together. The hallway lights felt too bright. First time here, he asked. Yes, I said. I almost didn't come. But you did. I forced myself. He smiled slightly. That counts. We stopped near the stairs. Silence stretched. It wasn't awkward. Can I ask you something?
I said.
Only if you want to answer it, he replied. I hesitated. Why are you here? To learn, he said. And to start over. I looked at him. You too. He nodded. Different reasons. I laughed quietly. Same feeling. We sat on the steps. I stared at my hands. I'm not good at talking about myself. You don't have to, he said. I swallowed. I was left, I said, by someone I trusted. He waited. I stopped eating, I added. I stopped living. He didn't interrupt. I'm trying again, I finished. That takes courage, he said. I don't feel brave. Most brave people don't, he replied. I looked at him. Why aren't you telling me it'll be okay? Because you don't need me to, he said. You're already here. Something in my chest loosened. People usually try to fix me, I admitted. I'm not a fixer, he said. I listen. I nodded. That's better. We walked outside. The night air felt cool. Will I see you again? I asked. If you come back, he said. I will, I replied. At home, I looked at my reflection. You spoke, I told myself. And you didn't break. The next class, he waved. You came. So did you, I said. We talked about lessons, then nothing, then everything small. He never pushed. One night, I said, I'm still healing. He answered, healing isn't a deadline. I smiled without thinking. Later, Clara noticed. You look lighter. I feel steadier, I said. Marcus never asked me to lean on him. He trusted me to stand. That trust changed something. I started walking taller, laughing softly, breathing easier. One evening, I said, I survived. He replied, I can see that. I realized strength didn't shout. It stayed. And for the first time, my smile wasn't for love. It was for me, for surviving, for becoming, for meeting the woman I could have been all along that I didn't ask about Ethan, but his name reached me anyway. Clara leaned against my desk and said, Did you hear? Hear what? I asked. She lowered her voice. His promotion fell through. I paused. Why? Upper management changed, she said. He didn't make the cut. I nodded once. Okay. She watched my face. That's it. That's it, I replied. Later that day, Daniel called. Mom saw Mrs. Brooks at the store. And? I asked. She was arguing on the phone, he said. About Luna. I exhaled slowly. She never liked her. No, Daniel said. And she's not hiding it anymore. I waited for anger. It didn't come. I waited for joy. That didn't come either. What do you feel? Daniel asked. Nothing, I said. Maybe relief. That counts, he replied. That evening, Marcus noticed my quiet mood. Heavy day, he asked. Strangely light, I answered. He smiled. Those are rare. The next morning, a man stopped me after class. Ivy Carter? Yes, I said. I'm Nathan Reed, he said. May we talk? I hesitated. About what? Work, he replied. I reviewed your recent project. My heart jumped. You did? Yes, he said. Impressive. I laughed softly. No one's ever said that to me. Well, he said, get used to it. We sat in the cafe across the street. I'm starting a new division, he explained. I need someone steady. Why me? I asked. You don't rush, he said. And you don't fold. I thought of Ethan, of how small I once felt. Who else is involved? I asked. Nathan shrugged. A few competitors. Brooks Group is one. My stomach tightened. Ethan Brooks. Yes, he said. Do you know him? I met his eyes. I used to. Nathan waited. Will that be a problem? I considered the question. My past didn't flinch. No, I said calmly. Good, he replied. I don't want drama. You won't get any, I said. He smiled. Then welcome aboard. When I left, my hands were steady. Clara texted me. Coffee later? I got an offer, I replied. She called immediately. You're kidding. I'm not, I said. She laughed. Look at you. That night, Grace asked, Are you okay? I am, I answered. I really am. I didn't celebrate. I didn't post. I just sat quietly. I'm not winning, I whispered to myself. I'm moving. Marcus met me outside. You look peaceful, he said. I stopped running, I replied. From him, he asked. From fear, I said. For the first time, karma didn't shout. It whispered, and I was finally close enough to hear it. I wasn't looking for him when I heard my name. Ivy. I stopped walking. I turned slowly. Ethan stood a few steps away, staring at me like he wasn't sure I was real. I almost didn't recognize you, he said. I nodded. That makes sense. He laughed awkwardly. You look different. So do you, I replied. He glanced at my clothes, my posture. You changed a lot. You left, I said calmly. I lived. The words landed between us. He swallowed. I didn't expect that. I stopped trying to meet expectations, I said. Including yours. His eyes searched my face. Are you happy? I considered the question. I'm steady. That's better than happy, he said. I know, I replied. A shadow shifted behind him. Luna stood near the entrance, pretending not to watch. Her arms were crossed. Her smile was tight. Ethan followed my gaze. She's waiting. I noticed, I said. She worries about you, he added quickly. I raised an eyebrow. About me? He hesitated. About what you might say. I don't have anything to say, I replied. That's not like you, he said. I know, I answered. I learned. He stepped closer. I didn't mean to hurt you. You didn't mean to stop either, I said.
He winced.
You're colder. I'm clearer, I corrected. He laughed softly. You used to cry when we argued. I used to believe apologies, I replied. Luna shifted again. I met her eyes. She looked away first. Ethan noticed. She thinks you hate her.
I don't, I said.
Hate takes energy. He studied me. Do you ever miss us? I shook my head. I miss who I was before I begged. That silenced him. Ivy, he said, lowering his voice. If things were different. They are, I interrupted. That's the point. He exhaled slowly. You don't need me anymore. I never did, I said. I just thought I did. He nodded like that hurt more than anger. I was wrong about you. I know, I replied. Luna walked over. Are we done? She asked him. I smiled politely. Nice to see you again. She forced a smile back. You look confident. I feel free, I said. Ethan looked between us. Take care, Ivy. You too, I replied, meaning nothing. I turned and walked away. My steps didn't slow. My back didn't tense. I didn't look back. When I reached the corner, my hands began to shake. I leaned against the wall and laughed quietly. So that's it, I whispered. My phone buzzed. Marcus, you okay? Yes, I typed. Just faced something old. And? He replied. It stayed in the past, I answered. I straightened and kept walking. My heart felt whole. That was how I knew.
I didn't bow.
I didn't break. I had groaned. I stared at the email for a long time before reading it out loud. The project has been approved. Clara blinked. Say that again. It's approved, I said. All of it. She screamed and grabbed my hands. I told you they would see you. I laughed, breathless. I didn't think it would happen this fast. It didn't happen fast, she said. You worked for it. Later that day, I sat in a meeting room I'd never entered before.
People nodded when I spoke.
Someone wrote my name on the board. Ivy Carter will lead this phase, a voice said. I felt my stomach tighten. I can do it, I said quickly. The man smiled. We know. When I walked out, my phone buzzed. Daniel, Mom told me. Told you what? I asked. That you're leading something big, he said. I'm proud of you. I swallowed. That means a lot. You didn't give up, he said. You never do. I almost did, I admitted. But you didn't, he replied. That night, Clara raised her glass.
To Ivy, she said.
Who stopped doubting herself. I still doubt, I said. She shook her head. You just don't quit anymore. The next week, my name came up again. In emails. In calls. In rooms I used to avoid. Someone whispered, she's reliable. I remembered how small I once felt. How quiet. A coworker leaned over and asked, how do you stay calm? I'm not calm, I said. I'm focused. That was the truth. One afternoon, Nathan called. They're impressed, he said. Especially after Brooks dropped out. I paused. He did. Yes, Nathan replied. Couldn't keep up. I closed my eyes. I see. You're handling this well, he added. I learned how, I said. That evening, Marcus walked beside me. You're glowing, he said. I'm exhausted, I replied. Still glowing, he said. I keep thinking I'll mess up, I admitted. And if you do, he asked. I'll fix it, I said. Or I'll learn. He smiled. That's strength. I shook my head. Strength isn't winning. Then what is it, he asked. Not shrinking, I said. Not apologizing for existing. At home, Grace hugged me. You seem taller, she joked. I stopped bending, I replied. I worked late. I rewrote plans. I doubted myself at midnight and answered emails at dawn. But I didn't quit. I didn't look back. I didn't wait for anyone to notice. I noticed myself. As my name moved forward, Ethan faded into background noise. I didn't feel proud of that. I felt free. I whispered to myself, this isn't revenge. It was better. It was refusing to be small again. And that power didn't shout. It stayed. Quiet. Unmovable. Mine. I wasn't expecting him. Ivy, he said, voice tight. I looked up from my notebook.
Ethan.
He shifted on his feet. Can we talk? I don't know if we should, I said. I owe you. You don't, I interrupted. Not really. He swallowed. I underestimated you. I blinked. That's your apology? No, he said quickly.
I'm sorry.
For everything. For leaving. For how I treated you. I studied his face. Empty eyes. Proud mouth. You're not sorry for loving Luna. You're sorry for thinking I wouldn't survive without you.
He winced.
I didn't think.
Stop, I said.
Don't explain. Don't justify. He lowered his head. I want to start over. I laughed, soft but bitter. Start over? Yes, he whispered. I want to fix this. Give us another chance. I stood and faced him fully. You didn't lose me, I said slowly, deliberately. You abandoned me. I survived. I healed. I grew. Without you. He froze. I didn't know.
You did know, I said.
You knew what you were doing. He looked down at his shoes. I messed up. Not messed up, I said. You chose. You walked away. And I chose to live. He lifted his eyes. Ivy, please. I see it now. Can we? No, I said firmly. You don't get a restart. You already had your chance. And you lost it. Silence settled over us. He opened his mouth, closed it, repeated. Nothing came. You'll be fine, I added. Eventually, you'll learn what it means to hurt someone and watch them rise anyway. That's your lesson. Don't, I interrupted again.
Please.
I don't need your words. I don't need your guilt. I don't need you at all. His shoulders sagged. He finally stepped back. Luna hovered near him, unsure. I glanced at her. She avoided my eyes. You look different, Ethan muttered. I am different, I said. You should remember that. I turned and walked away. My steps were calm, steady. My chest didn't tighten. My throat didn't burn. My heart didn't crack. Behind me, I could hear him breathe, hesitate, maybe regret. I didn't look back. I didn't need to. By the time I reached the street, the weight of him was gone. I whispered into the evening air. You were too late. The silence answered me. It was louder than any apology could ever be. I smiled faintly, because for the first time in years, I felt the power of walking away. I didn't feel anger. I didn't feel longing. I didn't feel loss. I only felt myself. Whole. Stronger. And finally freed, I heard a knock on my apartment door. Ivy, can we talk? Luna's voice rang sharp. I opened the door. She stepped in, hands clenched. How did you move on so fast? I raised an eyebrow. Fast? Do I look like I moved on fast? You're calm, smiling, confident.
It's unsettling, she said.
I gestured for her to sit. It wasn't easy, I said. It cost me everything. She frowned. Everything? You make it sound like it was nothing. I shook my head. It wasn't nothing. I lost nights, friends, trust, my old self. I cried when no one watched. I questioned everything I thought I was. She crossed her arms. So, you're stronger now? I looked at her. I survived, yes. But it wasn't about being stronger. It was about not shrinking anymore. Not begging to be seen. Not giving someone else the power to define my worth. Her mouth opened, closed. I didn't realize. I didn't either, I admitted. Until I chose myself. Luna took a step back. And him? Ethan? I let out a soft laugh. He isn't part of this anymore. He left and I stayed. That's the difference. She swallowed hard. I thought I would hurt you by being with him. You didn't, I said. I hurt myself by staying. I learned to let go. Her eyes narrowed. You make it sound so simple.
It's not simple, I said.
It's deliberate. Every day, every choice. Choosing to live for myself, not for him or anyone else. Luna's jaw tightened. And now, I said, I'm at peace. Not because I won. Not because he lost. But because I stopped giving him power. She hesitated. Her hands trembled. I can't believe you're really fine. I'm not pretending, I said. I just stopped being someone else's shadow.
She took a step back.
You make me feel small. That's not my goal, I said gently. You're angry because it shows how much you underestimated me. That's your reflection, not mine. She shook her head, stepped toward the door. You're impossible. I smiled faintly. Maybe. Or maybe I'm just me. She left, slamming the door. I didn't flinch. Outside, Marcus waited. He leaned against the railing, hands in pockets. Was that intense? I nodded. She needed to say it. I didn't need to respond. He smiled. You look calm. I am calm, I said. Finally. He shrugged. Good. You deserve it. I watched him, realizing something. You're not here to save me, I said. No, he replied. I'm here because I choose to be with you, not because you need me. I felt warmth spread through my chest. Love shouldn't feel like begging, I whispered. Marcus took my hand. Exactly. I squeezed it. Then we understand each other. We walked together in silence, but it wasn't awkward. It felt right. I thought about the past, Ethan, Luna, all the pain. And for the first time, I didn't feel anger or longing or regret. I felt closure.
Whole. Free.
And ready for the next chapter of my life. I sat on my balcony, the evening wind brushing my face. I whispered, I barely recognize you, girl in the rain. Clara called from the kitchen. You talking to yourself again? I smiled. Maybe. Or maybe I'm talking to who I was. She leaned on the railing. You've changed. I can see it. I have, I admitted. But it wasn't easy. Grace's message buzzed. Thinking of you. I typed back. I'm okay. Finally. I looked at my reflection in the glass door. A woman stared back.
Strong.
Tired.
Whole.
Pain didn't disappear, I whispered. It followed me here. Clara chuckled softly. But it didn't break you. No, I said. It shaped me. I thought of Ethan. His words, his betrayals. Luna, her smug smile. I took a deep breath. I didn't forgive him. I admitted aloud. Not for him. Clara nodded. You don't have to. No, I said. I forgave myself. For staying too long, she asked. I looked at her. For believing someone could value me less than I value myself. For letting my life pause while I waited for a man who already chose to leave. Grace texted again, coffee tomorrow? I smiled.
Yes.
Tomorrow. I closed my eyes. That's my rebirth, I said softly. You earned it, Clara said. I remembered sitting in the rain, calling his name, trembling. My heart in pieces. I remembered nights of silence, staring at my phone, hoping. I remembered the hospital, the pain, the fear of not waking up. I remembered walking away, cutting my hair, applying to that program, learning to stand on my own. I remembered Marcus, Nathan, Daniel, Grace, Clara, people who believed I deserved more. And I realized something. Rebirth isn't forgetting, I whispered. It's remembering and choosing differently. Clara smiled. That sounds like you. Yes, I said. It's me. Stronger. Not perfect, but mine. I took a deep breath, feeling the city around me, the soft wind, the quiet life I built. I let go, I said. Not of everything. Not the lessons. Not the pain. But of waiting for someone else to decide my worth. Clara leaned closer. And now, I said, I live for me. I laugh for me. I love for me. I looked at my reflection one last time. You can't break me anymore, I whispered. And I believed it. That was my rebirth.
Complete. Whole.
Finally, I leaned against the balcony railing, letting the cool night wind brush my face. The city lights flickered below like distant stars. Clara's voice came through my phone speaker. You up there again? I'm thinking, I replied softly. About him, she asked. No, I said, shaking my head. About me. Big difference, she said. You sound lighter. I feel lighter, I admitted. Not because everything's perfect. It's not. But because I survived. Grace texted. Dinner tomorrow? Sure, I typed. I'll be there. I watched a taxi weave through the streets. I used to worry so much about where he was, I whispered to myself.
Who?
Clara asked from the speaker.
Ethan, I said.
But not anymore.
You moved on, she said.
Completely? I don't even want him back, I replied. Not in any way. He's a memory now, nothing more. Good, she said. You deserve that peace. I took a deep breath. I am free, not famous, not powerful, not admired. Doesn't matter, Clara said. You matter to you. Exactly, I said. That's enough. Marcus appeared at my door with a cup of coffee. You forgot this, he said, handing it over. I smiled. Thanks. You look calm, he said. I am calm, I replied. Finally. After so long, I can just exist without waiting for someone else to define me. He leaned on the railing beside me. You earned this. I earn myself, I said. Not anyone else's approval. Not even his. He nodded. That's real strength. I used to cry for him, I said, tracing the city lights with my eyes. I begged. I waited. I hoped. And all that time, I lost pieces of me. You found them back, Marcus said. Yes, I said.
Piece by piece.
I rebuilt. Slowly, painfully. But I did it. Clara's voice whispered through the phone again. You're glowing. I think I finally understand, I said. Rebirth isn't someone else noticing you. It's noticing yourself. Choosing yourself. Loving yourself enough to move forward. Grace texted a heart emoji.
Exactly.
I laughed quietly. The woman he abandoned, she no longer exists. You don't miss her, Clara said softly. No, I said. I don't. I leaned forward, feeling the cool wind wrap around me. I survived. I became someone stronger. Someone who doesn't break for anyone. Someone who chooses herself first. Marcus smiled beside me. And you did it without anyone saving you. I did, I said. And that feels better than any victory he could have taken away from me. The city lights stretched endlessly. My future felt open, limitless. I smiled, not because life was perfect, but because I was whole. Because I was free. Because I finally became the woman I was always meant to be. And she didn't need anyone to complete her.